this on next. So, you have to put the PAPR on before you put your gown on. And this is really hard to adjust if you're in a hurry, especially. So I just gave up and knotted it. It's supposed to like adjust and clip like a back belt. So I just knotted it. It won't move easy. Okay. So then now this has to be hooked up pretty soon, or else you're going to get a plastic bag over your head. I'm gonna go ahead and get it because that's what happened to me. And I kind of had a little mini panic for a second. All right. So let me show this to you. These have batteries that are charging in the anesthesia workroom. Okay, there's like 4 more of these. You have to check the battery. It's just a test. It says test on it. You have to check the battery to check. They should be fine if they're all charging all the time. But if you get in there and this goes out, you're gonna feel like you're smothering because I had it on for like 3 seconds and I thought I was gonna die. I'm not claustrophobic. All right. Okay, so that's in there. Then there's this big blue button that turns the whole thing on. Just hold it down. All right, so we'll just leave. I don't know if I'm gonna leave it on, put it on you, but anyway. So putting it on is not a big deal because it's not contaminating. Putting it off, pulling it off a little bit more. Okay, so kind of like the hoods in the ortho rooms. It seems all clunky or whatever, but I felt very safe and secure in it. And I could breathe fine because it was blowing air in my face. All right. And then she's going to put her gown on. I'm going to go ahead and cover the hose up just to make it a little bit more covered from the room. We're going to tie it. For some reason, I didn't ask Ryan about this. He taped my waist. I think it was just to keep it closed a little bit more. I think with the N95, I don't know if that's necessary. But that's what he did. We're going to tie it up completely to keep it from flopping open. All right, and everything smells. All right, put your gloves on. And then the other thing we found, and they added some studies. It's fine. Is to tape the gloves to the gown so that when you're pulling it off, it's not a break. Just a little less likely to contaminate. And he looped it a lot. I would say don't loop it so much. I had a little trouble getting it off. So just enough to keep it connected loosely. I'm serious about it. Okay, then you're going to put a set of neck size up gloves on. So that you're double gloved. That's what all the recommendations have too. I can't hear you. That's the other thing. When you have this on, everybody's going to have to yell at you because that motor is blowing next to your ear. And I was like, huh? And everybody's got their masks on. It's really hard to hear. Okay, so and then we were going to tape. For some reason he taped. I'm not going to tape those. He just taped around the waist. I guess just to give us a little more security. Whether that has to be done, I'll have to check that. I don't know if this is. So this is what she looks like to go in. She is completely covered head to toe. You feel like you can breathe? Yeah, I mean, it's not smothering. It looks a little crazy, but it's not. She's going to go in to intubate, carry all her stuff with her, hopefully keep everything covered. I'm shorter than you. I was like ankle length. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I think I had an extra large gown on is what it was. All right, so then we're done. She's coming back out. There was some discussion about whether you doff in the room, outside the room. We doffed in the doorway as a compromise. Whatever that looks like, whatever y'all decide.
In the room is what I would.
In a negative pressure room. And then we also don't know how long you stay in the negative pressure room in order for the air circulation to be justified, whatever that's worth. So she's getting,
but your mask doesn't come off until you're out of the room.
Right.
Do what now?
Then we're dropping it down inside the room.
Yeah, well, that's one question.
Yeah, except like she said, except for your N95.
So you want us to doff everything in the room except N95?
And
Okay.
actually, the reusable shields that we have for our heads, infection control told us that we could carry those outside with clean gloves, change your gloves, take those clean gloves and walk outside the room, take that off there and immediately clean it with Clorox wipes.
Okay, all this being said then, the secondary provider, if it's a negative pressure room, needs to be in the room with you. Anesthesia tech can be outside the room. All right, and you have what you feel confident that you need in the room with you. So when she's done intubating, the secondary person should probably stay as far away from the table as possible unless needed to step forward to stay as clean as possible. All right, so then you're gonna come to the person who's gonna help doff you.
Susan, plus if you needed to hand them drugs or something, you could wait and come in at the end too, right? The secondary provider.
My thought on the negative pressure room is you wanna keep it closed as much as possible and to be cleaning out as much as possible.
Right, but then if you don't need anything, then nobody would give anything, and then the anesthesia tech would just give you what you need.
Correct.
Okay.
The anesthesia tech is outside the room. The secondary provider is in there to help you doff, keep the door shut as long as possible, and be your extra set of hands as needed. All right, so
The
then,
medications are outside the room, right?
the what?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Medications, anything we don't need. You take in your induction drugs, what you think you're gonna need. If we have to open the door and hand something in, we can. But the idea is to minimize opening the door to make the negative pressure room do its job.
Anesthesia tech and ambulance
Depends
medicine.
on how many times.
There's also nursing staff out there too. Like if you didn't feel comfortable with it, with anesthesia tech handing us a drug, there's nursing staff out there too. And you're gonna double check what they
I
hand
don't
you,
want
but
to get
yes.
in trouble.
Yeah, there's enough checks if we all pay attention to what those drugs are. All right, so we're gonna doff now. You need to take off your outer gloves.
Are all of our negative pressure rooms 30-minute cycle time?
That's what we don't know. So it has to be 6 cycles, whatever that looks like. The one in Broncolab is 12 cycles per hour, so we would have to ask maintenance what the other rooms look like. I think that's pretty standard, but each room can vary.
So after we intubate, from intubation time, we're supposed to wait 30 minutes to come
Well,
out?
and that's something that's gotta be discussed, because I don't have the final answer on that, but they're saying infectious disease says 6 cycles for the room air to be clear. That's what infectious disease said.
I believe search center was an hour. So after AS, we waited an hour to go back in the room after.
I know, but they may have just said that arbitrarily. That
Right.
doesn't mean that they don't
But I
have,
think James says.
because that would mean they only had 6 cycles per hour.
Right.
But they're not negative pressure, the rooms down there,
No, right now not.
they can be converted.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, so in
Right.
a non-negative
Okay.
pressure, but in a non,
In a negative pressure room, it depends on how many cycles per hour the air is turned over.
So if we don't know what we're supposed to do.
We'll have to ask. I mean, otherwise, I think 30 minutes is reasonable, but by the time you doff all this, you've been in there 15 or 20 minutes after it anyway, so that's,
we need to wait, 30 minutes to come out?
according to infectious disease, if you want the air to be completely turned over and it's no longer aerosolized, it's now droplet precaution.
Now, some of those ICU rooms have a anteroom that you go through where you're not opening to the outside air.
Right, and I would doff in there if you can.
Right, so I'm thinking you could actually exit that sooner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it probably really depends on how close, like from where the head of the bed, I guess, to the door too. You know what I'm saying? If it's close.
I don't have any, and I've researched it trying to find some definitive answers, so it's hard for me to say. It may be a question for infectious disease or for, administratively people to make a decision. That's just what the research is